The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Recorded live. Cumberland County's smartest hour of talk radio. Welcome back to another edition of the Carolina Cabinet.
Well, everyone, welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. Good afternoon. I'm your host, Peter Pappas, and I'm in studio with Mrs. Laura Musler.
Hello, hello.
And joining us today, Mrs. Ackles.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, there she is.
I didn't hear her for a second.
Laura, it's been we just had a heck of a weekend. How did you survive Snowmageddon?
Whatever. Oh my gosh. I did say, it's funny because a friend of mine posted on Facebook that lo and behold, Fayetteville was like the last area to have snow.
Right.
Yeah.
I said that's because there's somebody here that's from the bowels of heck, and
The devil.
That's exactly right.
The devil lives here. Yes.
That's right, and that's why
Yes.
the heat.
Exactly.
emanating off them
We had
stuff
like
is-
a protective dome.
That's
over
exactly
Cumberland
right
County there
for a
little bit.
while. But
I mean, Janene, were you one of the snow wanters, snow desirers?
Not especially. I could have cared less.
You grew up here?
No.
No?
I grew up where we had lots of snow.
Okay, and where would
That's
that be?
Maryland.
Okay, in Maryland. Okay, so, nobody retires up north. So, but y'all know how to handle it.
But that's why I said I didn't want
Yeah,
any
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Because if you say a sprinkle, everything shuts down.
Yep.
but we were out driving yesterday.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
But what time, though? Morning or like afternoon?
It was before noon.
Okay. All right.
Oh, well.
But around about noon, though, people started coming out. They're like, hello? And you
Yeah.
started to see people moving. But before that, there was nobody on the roads at all. And but yeah,
That's
we went to
probably
the
good.
grocery store. I went to run some errands. And I'm like, well, we're out running errands and nothing is open.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, Sam's was open bright and early this morning. I was there because I had to get some stuff for the shop. But we actually were closing early today. There's just nothing going on. Most people, I think, are just staying home and enjoying their. Now, I did mention this earlier before you got here about the poor kids in school now. They don't even get a snow day. I feel bad for the kids. Like when we were kids, you could wake up early and you were watching intently, like WRAL, TVD. You're waiting for that scroll to come over to say school's canceled. And these kids just don't. That's just an experience they'll never have now.
Bummer.
It's so different.
Well, it's like,
Wah.
yeah, but I don't know. As much as we argued that they don't learn much in public school, it's like now we figured out a way to make them be in school when there's no school.
They don't learn anything when they're in school, not in school either.
Well, I mean, they're not learning a lot of things. They're learning something. But okay, so we just had Snowmageddon. That was our weekend. Anything last week of note happen?
No,
No?
not.
Yeah, me
no.
either.
Well, I'm prepping for our meeting tomorrow night. But,
Right.
That's contacting candidates. My campaign chair is doing a fantastic job, along with my vice president. They are phenomenal people.
I wish I had one of those. I've been contacting all these candidates myself. I need a candidate contactor.
Hey, Jim, what are you doing?
Poor Jim.
I know.
Jim, do you have a clip for us today to blame Jim? Okay, we're still going to
Where
work
is
on that
this
segment.
segment that we're supposed
Yeah,
to be
this is like the 4th episode, no segment.
I've been trying to be really careful after that. I have to find something decent now.
So, Janene, we're trying to create a skit for him pretty much called Blame Jim. He'll show us some kind of crazy video or something, and it'll be first time that Laura and I see it to get reactions.
Oh.
Which is a little dangerous because you know how I speak sometimes, and the wrong thing can come out of this mouth.
I think we should have like a 10-second delay for your camera and your microphone. I'm fine.
We're at 196 episodes, I think, and I still have not dropped the F-bomb. I'm pretty proud of myself. Janine's rolling her eyes over there. You don't understand how big of an accomplishment that is for me, ma'am.
It's funny because I was accused of calling somebody an effing liar. And I said, that's a complete fabrication.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the only F word that I use is by calling you a fabricator, because anybody that knows me knows that I don't curse in public ever.
Well, me, I'm a classy gentleman. I'm an effing gentleman.
Yeah.
So, all right, Janene. So anything of note happened in Janine's world last week or so? Any big notable work achievements or?
Well, as
any
per
wins?
usual, I still, yeah. $450,000 grant given to one of my clients. So, that's always a win.
All right, all right. Well, when are you going to bring some of that over here? I'd like to wet my beak a little bit.
What?
Huh?
Be careful how you sound when you say something like. Do you know what that? There's another connotation for that.
Oh, I didn't even pick it up that
No, it's
way.
beak is the mafia way of saying stuff. It's the other thing you're thinking
okay.
of. No, I'm not. No, I'm not
I didn't
good.
even think of.
You see how she sets me up? Usually
I
she's the
cannot-
one pulling me back. you know,
Yeah.
so
No, that's why I was like, holy smokes! Did he just say that?
I sure did.
Okay.
There have been a lot of moments like that where it's like, did he really? Yes, he did. He certainly did. I'm going to make a list. I think I should go back through the couple of years we've been doing this and make a list of all the things that did he really say that kind of thing.
That would be a good
It'd be a long
for our 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you should.
Oh, and I had offers from the original cast of the Carolina Cabinet to return for the 200th episode.
That would be great.
Mhm.
At least, yeah, rotate them in, or I'm out.
Yeah. No, you're not out.
Okay.
You're here. Jim says he's out.
What is? Oh,
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can't see him. Okay.
I can't see him.
Oh, Karen says, my friend Janene, good to see you.
Good
I'm
to
not
see
sure
you as
which
well.
Karen that is. I know that's not an angry Karen. That's a nice Karen.
Most certainly. I'm sure it's Karen Saracen. I'm thinking.
That looks, you know what? I can't really tell. I think that is her. So, all right. Well, we got a primary. Now, do you have a primary?
I do have a primary.
You do have a primary.
Yes.
Okay. So you will be asking for people's votes on March 3rd.
I certainly will.
And early voting begins
on the 12th of February.
See, these candidates, they got that right. That's their whole life revolving around that.
Almost. Just about.
Okay. So this is run number 2.
Yes.
For you for State House. And you ran last time and here you are again.
Yes.
Why? What are you after? What are your like campaign things? 1, 2, 3. What do you want to see yourself accomplish if you were to be elected?
Well, there's a list of things, but I would more so say there are a lot of places and things that I feel are still underserved and there's not attention being paid to these places. And I tell people all the time, I'm not running against anyone. I'm running for that community down there. And I don't care what you're affiliated with.
Okay. So you mentioned there's places that are not being attended to. So give me specifics of what's not being attended to.
Okay. So let's talk about access to healthcare for one.
Okay.
In areas like Deep Cedar Creek, it takes almost 30 minutes to get to a hospital. That could be the difference between life and death. And my understanding is if all of this money came back to Cumberland County, everybody's not seeing it. And when it's not being seen, it's just like it didn't come.
So what do
here.
you suggest as a solution?
Oh, I'm getting ready to go there.
Okay.
One of the suggestions is if you can't build a clinic there, a small clinic, then why not do a series of mobile clinics where people can actually see the doctor, because transportation is an issue in that area. If you don't have transportation, you're going to have a hard time getting to the places that you need to go. Okay. And it's also a food desert down there. There's no grocery store down there. They have to come 15 miles up to the Carly C. IGA. So, so there's a lot of places where they may be underserved, but that's one area in particular. And they're also dealing with the same thing that Grace Creek is dealing with as far as the contaminated water and things of that nature. So we have to make sure that everyone's being served, just not one demographic.
So you just named off 4 things. No solutions given with any of them.
Okay, so tell me.
Let me dig in.
Okay. Didn't they used to have like urgent cares over on that side of town, but then Cape Fear Valley bought all of them up?
Probably bought them, and that's where I'm going with the next.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah.
What can a state house representative do to affect a county-run health system? Because that's what you're talking about is Cape Fear Valley. They're run by the county commissioners and not run by the commissioners, but
I understand.
You understand. They appoint the people locally. So go ahead.
So what we have to do is we have to work with those commissioners to be able to bring that type of funding back. Because right now we don't even have a budget we don't have a budget yet. So
you mean a state budget? A
state budget, yes. We don't have a state budget yet. So that's one of the things that we need to look at. We have to make sure that we're all working together. And we have to understand that when you're looking at places like Cedar Creek, or maybe Grace Creek, but Grace Creek is a little bit better off in that regard than Cedar Creek is. But when you're looking at places like that, you have to understand that you have a lot of the population there are older people.
Okay.
And one of the solutions is, instead of them not being able to go see the doctor because they don't have transportation and things like that, one of the solutions for me is, why can't we fund a mobile type situation where people can go or they can come to them? Because it's really hard. I mean, I lived out there for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what it's like trying to get into town. When I didn't have a car, I had children. So it wasn't an easy task.
So how many people in the district you're running for right now? What's the population? Like, how many people are really affected in House 43?
Somewhere around, it's close to 60,000 now.
Okay. How many of those, because we have Fort Bragg right in our backyard.
Yes.
How many of those do you think are VA related, maybe that the federal government should be doing more for them? You think it's a good even split, third? This is not mailing you down to a number. I'm just thinking,
what I'm thinking
what have you
is,
seen?
In the area and the demographic where we are, we do have lots of veterans and military, but I don't think it's the same population as you would find in other parts of the city or the county.
Meaning what?
Meaning that there are a lot of people that could benefit from some of those federal benefits, but I think the basis of...
Is it more concentrated VA or less? I guess
it's probably less concentrated VA in those areas.
Most of your area is going to be rural, isn't it?
Most of it is.
Most
Probably
of it is. Okay.
80% of my area is rural.
Okay. What's the most urban part of District 43?
Well,
if we can call any part of Cumberland County urban.
I would say probably the College Lakes area.
Okay.
And because they're more,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they got like streets and lights.
They got streets. They have a food line. They've got stuff.
Okay. So we talk healthcare to me is a county issue, but we need our state partners to bring us some money.
That's it.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you saying that there were no in the however many, what was it, 400 million? It was a big chunk. Was nothing earmarked for public health?
There was some earmarked. It was just that, again, I asked the question, where is it?
Okay.
Because that's something that has not been clearly given to the people. The people don't know exactly where that money went to.
Would that be a county issue? Where did the money go?
If it was given, well, and that's the thing. I mean, so are we talking about an audit level type thing that we're concerned the money was misspent, or?
And did the representative that's there now, did they vote to bring the money back?
The current incumbent?
Yes.
Part of the delegation? Absolutely.
She was part of the delegation. Yeah. It wasn't her by herself.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I'm saying, did she vote for or against bringing the money back?
She voted for bringing the money back.
Remember, that was the vote that cost Commissioner Deviere his seat when he got coopered.
Okay.
I didn't make that up. That was
so the money came
on a
here.
podcast I heard.
But we don't know where it went.
Right.
So,
but how much of it was earmarked to help the situation? See that, running for state office, you said earlier, it's a collaboration. Ain't one person on their own. So my concern is, was the money earmarked for things that you're looking to improve, or was it just money came and just didn't attend to the issues you're seeing?
I think there was some money. Is my mic still on?
You're still on.
Okay. I think there was money that came back that we don't know exactly where it went to, or there are some things that we have seen where it has gone, such as, and there's no issue with this when I say this, but we know that Cape Fear Theater got $7.1 million. So if we can say that and see it tangibly, why can't we see it in other areas tangibly? Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, fair enough. So we got the public health. Now transportation. Do we not have bus system, anything out there? Is that what you were kind of...
There's no bus system, which I do understand because it is a very rural system out there. Houses can be far apart.
Yes,
so I do understand that. But I do think we do need to think about that. That's one of the reasons why I said a mobile clinic, if we can't have like a remote clinic there. So I do think that that's something that's fundable. I think that that's something that is not way expensive and out of this world, So I'm thinking of solutions that can happen quicker.
How much do you think it would cost us? What do we need to bring back here? And again, whenever we talk about bringing money back, it's like it's our money. We're sending it up there. We're just waiting for it to come back.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's not like I'm asking for somebody else's money.
Yes.
Does the state representatives, are they the ones that set up the local bus system, or is that a Cumberland County issue again?
That's a Cumberland County issue.
Well, it's a city of Fayetteville
Yeah,
thing.
city.
Cumberland County doesn't have anything.
And that's what I'm saying. So it's not going to be.
Are they in the city? No,
No, they're not. They're rural.
Well, up to a point.
Part of her, that's the thing. The smaller part of her district is going to be urban, like the College Lakes area.
Right. The College Lakes area and on Cedar Creek Road from the hotels back.
Well, then again, some people I think move out there because they don't want to be bothered. So how many really want transportation?
And I mean,
I'm not saying that we shouldn't have
No, I understand what you're saying.
I think they moved out there to be left alone.
So who funds that? Who funds the buses? The city does.
The city would fund the city buses. But
so we want county transportation of some sort. Is that right?
It would be great to have some type of, even if it was something that they had to make reservations for or something like that. I do believe we need something more. And of course, that would take more money out of a budget to get those things. But my thing is that if we're not serving the people, who are we serving? These, there are lots, like I said, in those areas, there are a lot of older people, senior citizens, and a lot of them that may not be able to drive. It may not be that they don't have a car. It's just that they're not able to do that. So they have to wait and stand in line. And I don't think that as older Americans that have lived here forever, we should be treating them like kings and queens, not put them second.
Well, where does their family come in?
I was going to say,
their families.
When is it the government's job to take care of individuals? Isn't it our job to take care of the
community?
People,
as
a community, right?
As a community, we can definitely take care of them. But there are some people that may not have access to their families, or their families are not here, or maybe they don't have family. So what do we do with those people? We just forget about them?
No, that's what friends and churches and things like that are for, not the government. I don't think I'm all about smaller government. I think the government is way too far in our business already.
Well, I think county government being able to supply some transportation for those who may need it, I don't see an issue with that if we're allowed to put that in a budget and do that for them. I'm not saying that they have to live off the government.
What about the programs offered at DSS? I know personally some people that drive for DSS that take people to their doctor's appointments and things of that nature. So
they do. They do have some of that program at DSS, but a lot of that means you have to fall. A lot of times it depends on what types of services you're already getting to be able to get that. So if I make $1 over the amount, then I don't get the services. And those are things that we need to look at. It should be based on a case-by-case basis.
That's what way back in the day, I agree with that, because I made like less than $100 a year, too much to get any help from the government, but I didn't have enough I could either pay for daycare or I could pay for medical. I didn't have enough to pay for.
Right.
They should do a sliding scale. I agree wholeheartedly like that, because we do need to look out for our elder people. Those are like our little ones. They're important.
You might convince me if you don't get up to Raleigh and start duplicating services. If you just make DSS do some more, I'm good.
Well, I mean, that's something
instead of creating a whole other thing.
No,
okay?
I got you.
I want a government. We say small government. I want a government I can kill. I want it small enough
careful
to take.
With the K word.
Well, anyway, I want to unalive it with my two hands. Okay. I don't want it bigger than me to try to unalive me. Okay.
Okay. So you're going to have to break that down. What you mean by that?
Small government, small manageable government. So we don't duplicate services. We don't have a city bus system, a county bus system, a DSS bus system. Again, just my little bit of knowledge of running around this town, I know that DSS offers those. So let's work on expanding the limits of what qualifies.
I don't have a problem with that.
Instead of just going and saying we need transportation down there and we create a whole other thing. It's like, because nothing in government gets better the bigger it gets.
Right. But
nothing.
I was just you asked me what the issues were. So I was just kind of telling you that didn't mean that we could not build upon something that's already there, because I do believe in using the resources we already have to get to the next level.
Okay.
So, I mean, being resourceful is all of it, and so that we're not misusing any funds or anything. So, I mean, I agree with If we're going to use DHS, come on, let's go ahead and do what we need to
Right.
do.
Well, use a system that's already
Yeah,
there.
right.
Just beef it up. You mentioned food desert. Now, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite topics. I love some food. What can you do as a state representative to encourage to get rid of the food desert? What do you define as a food desert?
Well, I guess different people have different ways
There's
of
got to be
saying
one
it, but
definition that we're all
but for
using.
me, for me, a food desert is not having a grocery store or some means of groceries within 10 miles
Okay.
to me. And these people that live out there,
Didn't they choose to live out in the country though? Because I am a city person. I want to live 5 minutes from everything
You do.
in my entire life. My husband, however, does not. He wants to live far, far away. He doesn't want the transportation and the issues like that. So is that a choice that people made when they purchased their property or inherited their property or whatever, that they lived far away and aren't part of all of that? Or at what point do people become responsible for where they live or choose to live?
well, first of all, many people that are there have been there for generations.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's generational. And to just jump up and leave generational land like that,
Oh, no, I don't
that's
want
a
them to do that.
but that's what I'm
That's
saying. So I don't know if you can call that a choice or not. I'm saying you can't it's one of those things where this is where they live. They develop other areas, and all I'm saying is that why not have a grocery store closer to them, because they're going to be the ones using it. It's not like the people from the middle of Fayetteville are going to ride down
Mhm.
to Cedar Creek to go to the grocery store. So that's what I'm saying.
So who developed? You said they developed this area, but who are you talking about?
Well, there's plans. They have a county plan and then they have a city plan. So the county would be the ones that would make those plans to bring economic development and things into different areas. So bringing a supermarket to those areas would be a great thing for the people that live there.
So what are you willing to trade to get a supermarket to locate there?
What is there to trade in that area?
I'm asking.
There's nothing to trade. That's what I'm saying. There's remotely nothing out there, and that's the right word, remotely.
What was your take on Murchison Marketplace opening and shutting down within like 2 or 3 years on Murchison Road and Skybo, I guess, or Country Club?
You mean the marketplace that was right there on Murchison Road?
Why haven't we seen another grocery store go in there?
Well, number one, there's a lease on it.
Okay.
So Walmart will not allow anybody to go in there because of that particular lease, unless it is Walmart. So
Good.
that's not something we could mess with. But what I would say is that we need to be careful. Those that are doing the negotiating, whether it's the city, the county, or whomever, we have to be careful when we do things like that, because now we have this big open space that we can do nothing with until that lease is up or whatever.
When is the lease up?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Well, you've seen the other big boxes get filled back with trampoline parks and gyms. And I think the old American Freight over here on Ireland and Rayford Road is going to be a new Crunch Fitness.
Oh,
where I used to buy all my dinged up appliances. Now it's going to be all
Really?
fitness. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I used to love that old Sears store.
Yeah, me too.
I would like go buy something new, but it wasn't new. But it was kind of new.
Oh,
I mean, it was new, but it was just a
banged
little
on the
bit.
bottom a little bit. Yeah, we'll take you right here. So,
I'm a little banged up. Might as well have my other stuff banged up too. Whatever.
about food deserts.
Okay, so this is just not to be argumentative or whatever. I feel like the things that you're bringing forward as issues are, I would say you have a great stance to be a county commissioner, because you're talking about bringing money back in all these focuses, which is great, because I think people need to be more focused on their counties and their local areas and stop worrying about the national stuff and all that kind of stuff. I think you have great ideas to be a county commissioner.
I'm glad you think so, but that's not what I'm running from. I'm running for the house. And the reason I'm running for the house is because I want to be up there when they're making the laws and when they're talking about what funding needs to be disseminated. Because, see, that's what I do for a living. So we don't want What we want is to be able to put those budgets together so that
Mhm.
we can touch those untouched areas that have nothing in them. And we also want to be more about the people. Just because you're in Raleigh doesn't mean you can't come down, have town halls with your constituents. I mean, I know many constituents that have never met or been able to talk to the current person there. And that's nothing against her.
Is there
That's the
another
way I feel
representative
about.
that you feel like gets that right? There's 100 counties in North Carolina, so there's got to be somebody that
Well, I
does it
don't know
right.
all the representatives there.
Well, what have you been doing? No.
But what
There's
I'm
only,
saying is
300 or 200 of them,
right.
whatever.
But what I'm saying is that even getting in touch with the person that is now sitting in my seat, um, calling up and getting a meeting with her, and I don't know if it's because it's me or what, it has not happened
Okay.
to ask
So
about different
again, the
things.
question is, see, okay, look, the whole town hall thing, that's bunk. Nobody
I
has
don't
time for
mean-
that.
But what I'm saying is meeting with people. When I say
Okay.
town hall, I'm not talking about the town hall you're speaking of. I'm just talking of just simply having meetings within communities,
Mhm.
finding out what they need, how they need it, and what we can do to get
I
it.
call that
to
a
'em.
town hall. You come visit a kind of community watch meeting. That's a town hall. It turns into a town hall real quick. But my
Well.
point is, city council elections we just had. Okay,
Sure.
everybody is there. We need you in the neighborhood. On certain candidates, I'm going to do town halls for what? You're going to, if you're doing your job, you're going to be busy enough going to those meetings and doing what you're supposed to do. Your job never ends campaigning. Your
That's
job
right.
is
I
part of
agree.
being in the community. So,
I agree.
saying, well, I'm going to do town halls. Well, how are you going to? Because you're supposed to be in Raleigh.
Well, you're not
We're
in
not
Raleigh.
always
not
in
in-
Raleigh. You
that's what
gotta
I'm
come. You work up there and you come
Okay.
back.
I mean, you
or-
can
or
come in,
whatever.
I mean, you're in Raleigh during the long sessions. You're in there usually about 3 days a week.
Okay.
And short sessions, I think you go maybe 2 days a week. So those other days, to me, you should be. I mean, of course, you got to take time to
What
do
are
the
some
things
places that
you're-
you would like to hold a town if you were to be elected? Like, where would you go?
You know where
do?
I'd like to go to talk to people? I want to go to places that are not like me. I want to go to different demographics that I did not grow up in,
Mhm.
or I don't have access to readily. Because my thing is that I want to represent everybody. I don't have a problem with what party you're in. I just want to know if people's rights are getting messed up. I need to make sure that we do something about that. I'm a community person. I believe in listening to everybody, not just bringing my own personal in, because what I go through personally may not be something that you may not go through. But I think everyone deserves the right to be heard.
Mhm.
And that's where I am with it. So I think that when a community has an issue, we need to sit down and we need to listen to it. And if I am the person sitting in that chair,
Mhm.
it is my responsibility to listen and make things right, not just do what I want to do.
So, what would be your ideal event? Would you just go to a community watch, or would you host something independent?
I would do probably both.
Okay.
I would do both. It depends on how much access I have to a community. It may be that I have to reach out to someone to help me get something together, but I have no issues.
Sure.
I mean, it's evident, that we're in two different parties, but I don't have a problem with that because I need people to understand I'm not my party, I'm my person. And so is each one of you. And we all have things. We're all human beings. So my first thing is making sure that we're all good together. We're always going to disagree on. There's always time to agree to disagree. But that doesn't mean we can't live together because we're all neighbors.
Mhm.
We live next door to each other. We go to school together. Sometimes we go to church together because I won't tell that lie and say we all go to church together
Right.
because that's not true. That's probably the most segregated part of life right now.
Mhm.
But what I am saying is that there's something that everyone can offer,
Mhm.
and we're all here together. We live here in Cumberland County, and we have to stop being so divisive amongst ourselves to be able to make sure that we can move this county forward. And I think one of the things is that we're so partisan in our brains that we're not stopping to think of the things that we all need. Everybody needs to be able to pay their rent or their mortgage. Everybody wants to be able to have groceries.
Mhm.
Everybody needs access to medical care. I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, orange. I don't care what political affiliation you are. But you need to do what's right by the people.
Okay.
And that's where I am with it.
You mentioned segregated churches. You're absolutely right. Sometimes we just go down that party line.
That's not true. I'm the only pale face in my church.
Again, it's
you're always an
segregated,
exception,
though.
but generally we got the white folks, we got the black folks church. I mean, do we have to really beat around that bush? I mean, really, it's the South, man. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I love my church. I love when I love the singing. I love all of it. So maybe some white folk need to try my church.
So Janene, where do you, if you want to give a shout out to where your parish or your congregation is?
I most certainly will.
Okay, go ahead.
My church is 619 Cedar Creek Road. Let me tell you something. It's Christ Cathedral.
Okay.
Okay. And my pastor is C. Porter. So come on out because we accept everybody. You just come in and that's what we are. We're a church for all people.
Okay. And that's a Christian denomination, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Christian, but we're non-denominational.
Non-denominational. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. That's a new thing these days.
Well,
nobody wants to belong. See?
I don't think that's what it is. Honestly, I think that everybody needs to know God for themselves. And we shouldn't put limits on that. We shouldn't say just because you're a Baptist, you're a certain way, or you're a Catholic, you're a certain way. If you know God the way you need to know God for yourself, we all have something in common. The good Lord above. And we show love. We don't care about the rest of it.
So you're running as a Democrat for House 43.
I am.
You are a churchgoer.
I am.
Believe in the Lord.
I do.
How do you square away the national, I hate to pull it on you, but National Democratic Party seems kind of hostile to those of your ilk, those of you that are believers. How do you square that?
What do you mean they seem hostile to us?
Well, I mean, they're pro-abortion, and they are, in my opinion, they have a war on women.
That is so funny. I'm so sorry. I'm laughing at you, especially about the second one, a war on women.
Correct.
So since you want to say partyish, let's look at the other party, Republicans.
Please do.
They have a war on women as well.
How's that?
Well, first of all, when you look at, unless they've changed the site, what happened to all the women on the NASA site?
Okay. Let me ask you this. What's a right that you've lost the day that our president was elected that you had before that you don't have now?
What's a right?
What right as a female have you lost?
Well, you don't want me to go down that road.
Oh, please, I do.
Well,
I want receipts. See, this is where we are about fact. Let's get to the point.
I agree. But see, some of your fact may just be an opinion.
How's that?
Because number one, you're saying why Democrats are against women.
Democrats have a war on women because they are the number one advocates of putting boys and girls sports. Plain, simple, dead stop. Title IX, they want to pierce the Title IX veil of the colleges and universities to make these women that have worked their butts off compete against biological males and lose a lot of the access to the scholarships and things that those women deserved.
Okay.
So how do you square that?
How do I square that? Well, I think there's a
Can
lot
I
of
say something before she answers? What does this have to do with her running for the House of Representatives?
Well, because it's her fault, because
it's my fault?
Yeah, it's totally your fault.
He's joking. He's totally joking.
Along the way, she said, I'm my own person, I'm not my party. When you get to Senate or House of North Carolina, you are part of a caucus.
You are.
So you can stand alone and you can get yourself primaried by your own people because they're going to vote you off the island.
Okay.
Which means you're going to have to go along with the party politic. So that's why it came up. Okay. I want to know how much of her own person she wants to be.
Some people say, not me, but some people say abortion rights are women's rights. I say there's women in the womb and, who are those rights? But that's different. So when you say women's rights, be careful what you're saying because there are different thoughts about what is a woman's right. I am pro baby in the womb, but that's my thing. But other people see women's rights as being able to have an abortion. So if we're going to specifically talk about men and women's sports, that I wholeheartedly agree with. You are either a man or you're a woman. And I'm totally 100% okay with trans too, but let's make an alternate co-ed sport for them or something like that. I don't think that boys that recognize themselves to be girls at that time in their life need to be competing against girls. That's a different kind of women's rights. So to put her on the hot
Yes.
seat and say about women's rights.
Okay, women's rights. However you want it. I mean, look.
Okay, I just
you
wanted to
cannot
clarify.
put biological males in with women.
Agreed.
Okay. To identify yourself as a Christian and to support a party that supports abortion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to go to the abortion, really?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so to me, as she said, abortion is a woman's right. Because you know why? When you're serving the good Lord Jesus, as we were just talking about, in the book that I read, the good Lord gives us a free will.
Okay.
I'm not saying whether abortion's right or wrong for anybody, because I'm not God. But what I am saying is that it is your choice. It's your choice to do what you need to do, because you're the one that has to answer to that judgment. And my thing is, and I'll just put it right here on the table for you, okay? My thing is that you guys are so worried about a woman having an abortion, but you don't care about our children, Black children, when we come out, because there's so many different things that are being done to them. I had to teach my boys how to act if a police came up on them because of the actions that happen around the country. So it's about saving a baby, but when the babies are here, we're not saving them. And my thing is that how do you cut off food to other people that need it and their children?
When did we cut off food?
All of that food that just expired back in July that should have been sent to those other countries.
You referring to USAID?
Yes.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
What does that have to do with abortion?
What I'm telling you is that you care about children at one stage, but you don't care about them at another.
I care about people murdering people.
Oh, here we go with the murder.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you shoot and murder a pregnant female, you get charged with 2 homicides.
Okay.
So why is it okay?
So if I'm in, let me make this disclaimer before I say what I'm going to say. Okay. I am totally for the military, but nowhere did I read in the Bible. No, you need to hear what I'm getting to say. Nowhere did I read in the Bible did it say, oh, you know what? Thou shalt not kill unless you're in the military. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of things are things that we need to deal with within our own hearts and our own souls with the good Lord. Some things should not be legislated out there.
So you're equating a soldier on a battlefield to a female wanting to kill a baby.
Okay, so I am pro-choice. You can choose to not have sex. You can choose to use birth control. You can choose to keep your legs closed. You can choose to keep your penis in your pants. You can choose. There's so many choices along the way. If you make all of those choices of your free will and you create a life, where do those women's rights that are inside another woman's body or boys' rights or whatever begin? At what point? And I'm willing to concede that, okay, I would hate to think I would be the person that stops somebody from progressing in their lifelong goals because they made a momentary mistake and they didn't even realize they were pregnant or something. So I'm willing to concede that maybe my ideas and my beliefs are not the way for everybody else. However, at some point, we have to determine a specific time that baby inside that person has rights, whether it's 12 weeks or 16 weeks. 16 weeks, whatever. At some point, we have to decide. I'm willing to concede a little bit, but because that's my opinion. But so do you, Janene, have a specific date, time, or you're saying all the way up until whenever you just decide? Or do you not want to make a comment or whatever? Do you have?
I'm going to say this. Let me just say
I don't believe in
this.
putting my beliefs on somebody else.
This is what I'm going to say. When we were in the last election, there was a mailer put out on me saying that I kill babies. I have 4 children alive and well. Okay. All of them are doing wonderful things with their lives. And back to your military question, I have a child. I have 2 children. One served and one is still serving. Okay. I, in no way, shape, or form, would want to be the person that has to decide for somebody else what they need to do with their body. Okay. So I'm going to say that. But this is the problem for me, is that we make all of this about abortion
Mm-hmm.
and things like that when we got people that can't even eat. We have the homeless out there. Why are we talking about abortion right now when we got people in encampments out there that have nowhere to go, people freezing overnight? Abortion does not affect everyone, but the homeless out there, people needing to eat, people have to have a place to stay.
The abortion issue comes up because of I'm my own person versus the caucus politic, and you're a Christian and you go to church.
Mhm.
How do you, and that's the question is, I want more people to understand, if you go to church and you believe it, if you truly believe in these things,
Mhm.
then you should be able to stand apart from and be your own person on this.
But again,
Abortion now is a states' rights issue. When Roe was
agree.
turned over, it didn't elite, well, you may make it criminal to get an abortion, but it went back to these states to say, okay, y'all need to figure it out. And we've pretty much settled on 12 weeks in North
I
Carolina.
think so. It's 12
we
weeks.
didn't settle.
I mean, well,
the
look,
Republicans settled on that.
if
But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is the
Mhm.
problem again. Here we are again at this partisan politics stuff. Just because someone believes or doesn't believe in abortion, it doesn't make them
Mhm.
a bad person. It means they're making choices for themselves.
I'm not trying to make you a
I
bad
don't-
person.
oh,
I'm
I'm
trying to
not worried
say
about
by
that.
religion.
Because I know I'm not a bad person.
Okay.
So but what I'm saying is that for people to bring something up like that, to me, in the back of my mind, it makes me feel like, oh, here comes a man who
Mhm.
wants to
Oh,
make
here
a
we go.
decision
Yeah,
for a woman again.
because I couldn't possibly have any kind of wisdom or any kind of research
No,
about.
not saying you don't have
Yeah.
any wisdom,
Yeah.
but I think it's misguided wisdom when
Right.
it comes to a woman, when you're talking about their body or you're talking about
But
what they need to do.
wait. When we start bringing in men, when do the men's rights have? Because what happens if I made a mistake with a man
Mhm.
and I don't want a child, but he made the same mistake? Where do his rights come in? Because he helped create the baby without him. But if I decide I don't want the baby, then it's up to me to decide to end the pregnancy. But if I decide that I'm going to have the baby, he has no say over it. But if I decide I'm going to have the baby, he is forced to contribute via. So where does a man get a choice? Is there a way to get the man a choice?
Well, my thing is that that comes down to whatever relationship you're in.
Mhm.
I can't speak for people's relationships and what they're doing. None of us can. And we can't go there. But what I am saying, and I'm going to say it again and again, we should not be legislating. That should not be a part of what we're talking about as far as abortions.
So you agree with doing away with Roe versus Wade then?
Well,
Because it's no longer legislated by the federal government. It is now down to the states level, which is closer to the people. Is
Mhm.
that right?
I think things should
I
be
mean,
closer to the people,
yeah.
state by state. I
So-
agree with it being a state issue. But my thing again is when we're out here, we're still talking about things that are not, they may be relative to you. It could be relative to me. But the thing about it is that we're not looking at the big picture of what's really happening, regardless of what party you're in.
So you're talking about the aftercare is what I would call it. If the person has the baby, then what do we do socially to make sure she has something to eat and
Exactly.
all? Yeah. Okay. Look,
And then what happens?
take 2 more cents out of my check and beef that up.
Okay, so Laura just
Actually-
said earlier that we don't want this big government thing. So if you don't want this big government thing,
Take the money from the Somalians, please.
Oh, we can do that from the
Okay,
Leering
there's-
centers.
The
Yeah.
Leering centers. If we could take that billions of dollars and give it to the children in some way, shape,
Well, that
or
was all
form.
Minnesota's money. We won't see that.
Actually, it was federal money given to Minnesota to spend. That's
Right.
yes. So
Yeah.
it is part of our money.
Well, we have our own amount of grift in this state already.
Well, let's find it and get it back and start putting it towards something. If we're going to be paying for it, we might as well be paying.
what about the
for it.
$40 billion that they sent to Argentina? What about
I
that
agree.
money?
Let's get that money back to.
we
That's
get
close.
that?
Wait a minute. I'm Hispanic, so I'm for the Argentina. No, I'm just joking.
No, but I'm saying it was just amazing how you said Somalia first,
Well, that's
and I
just-
was like, Argentina.
Well,
Forgetting about that money.
that's just what the first thing that came to my mind.
Argentina's
I
over there.
didn't mean to
The
make a
Somalis
list.
are right here in our
Well, it
backyard.
doesn't matter. The money's still going over
Yeah.
there, and that's money that should be used here. If you're making your case.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go after the ones in our backyard first.
Well,
So
we
another
should be
thing,
sending it over there then.
they can hate us for free. I like what Senator Edwards said that one time. Yeah.
But at any rate, like I said, back to
The
where,
state.
the
Where
state
we
of
are
North
right now.
Carolina,
Mhm.
Cumberland County. I think right now, talking about abortion, talking about any of those types of things is really not something that needs to even be.
It's already been settled. It's not
been
something
settled. It's been done, and it's just something that we have to live with for now.
Mhm.
But what I am telling you is that that's not something that I'm even putting my time into, for the simple fact I think there are more important things for us to be dealing with. And again, I'll go back, basic needs.
Mhm.
We should be worrying about these families out here what about these working families out here who can't make enough? How much do you pay your workers?
Solution. What is your solution?
What is the solution
Mhm.
to these families?
Mhm.
For number one, let's start with families that don't own homes. Let's start with
Okay.
rent. One of the issues I have is how the landlords here in North Carolina, the rules. That is something that
For instance.
For instance, if I live in a house
Mhm.
and say my heat is all broken or there's things messed up in the house, I still have to pay you rent. There's no escrow account for that. And if I don't pay you rent, you're going to put me out. And also if I keep paying you rent and I report what's wrong with this house, I got to move out. Those kind of things. Those are things that we need to change. I'm not saying that, I'm saying there has to be a happy medium there.
Actually, you can put the money for the money for the rent in an escrow account and hold it specifically until repairs are made if a house is unlivable yeah.
But you're talking about really egregious things like
Right.
So look, I served on human relations for a few years,
Yes, I do.
and fair housing is under
Yep.
the city of Fayetteville has a fair housing unit that would handle. So see, in that case, I feel like it's lack of attention that people don't know there's help already.
Well,
there.
maybe, and that's something
And-
else. I think you're hitting on something really good, because people don't know a lot of the resources here because people aren't telling them. And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but what I am saying is that even as people, advocates or even politicians or whomever, they should be giving out more information about these things if they're available.
But wait a minute. At what point do we, as grown, me being 57 years old, or somebody else in their 40s or 30s or whatever, where do we develop the responsibility to research and find out what's going on? Because at some point you became an adult and you're responsible for your actions. So at what point are you responsible? It's not up to the government to tell you what you're entitled to.
I don't
Isn't it
call
up-
that as the government
or
entitlement. What I'm saying is that I think that resources could be out there and that there could be more information put out there. There are a lot of resources that really are here that
Mhm.
people do not know about.
So how do we
And
get the word out?
How do you get the word out? A lot of it is that people don't get it because they're in. Number one, what about people who just don't get that information? What about people in the county? Let's start with our senior citizens. A lot of senior citizens, now I've seen some sharp ones now, but a lot of senior citizens don't know how to use the internet. They don't know about, and a lot of them.
But then they go to the library and the librarian, because most of the senior citizens that don't
Where's
use
the
the
library if you live down in Deep Cedar Creek? You got to go 30 minutes to that library across there. So that's what I'm saying. Some people don't have access to that information. And that's what I'm saying. That's why.
So the government is responsible to make them.
That's not the government's fault. That's the people. I'm saying advocacy. If you say you're a community advocate and
Mhm.
you're out in the community,
Mhm.
one of the things you should be doing is disseminating information. You should be letting people know.
Do you
What's
get the
up?
city's weekly mail from Doug Hewitt? Do you get his email?
Yes.
I do, yes.
Okay. It took you all of 2 seconds to probably sign up for that.
But what if I don't have internet?
That's what I'm saying.
Not my problem. I mean, at what point are you going to stand up and say, all right, I'm a grown person in this community
That's
and
what
I
I
want to
just asked.
participate with this community, so I need to communicate with my community. I mean, I'm concerned about moving the middle 80, 90% of this country
Mhm.
ahead. There are always going to be either end people that are underserved.
agree with
You're
you.
not going to get everybody.
You're not going to
But
get
what
everybody.
can you do for the majority middle and move them ahead?
I agree with you there. I'm not taking away from that, but I am saying here in Cumberland County, there is a resource information deficit. And it's not just our senior citizens. It's a lot of people that don't know where to even look for the information because it's not being readily provided the way it needs to be. And
See,
that's all I'm saying.
I disagree with it not being readily provided. I feel like it's there, but you got to Google. You got to, I mean, look, I'm sorry it goes back to the internet, but that's like our life the last 20 years. You have to be intellectually curious enough to want to seek this stuff out. There is a ton, not only resources for whatever you want to call those kinds of landlords. I was trying to be nice. But there's even resources to repair your house if you're a senior and you don't have money to fix. There's also something called minimum building standards that the landlord must, within a reasonable, I think it's within 24 hours, if the heat goes out, he's got to get it addressed. You can't just let it sit there. And when you go beyond that, then you can constructively evict yourself. You can move out. Or you can take them to court and you can escrow your rent, like Laura suggested.
Yeah, but that's just the thing. It's usually what happens is that, and I've seen it several times. What has happened many times is when they have called on them, they put you out of their house and you have to find somewhere else, which a lot of times can cause a lot of hardship, especially if you are barely making it. I've seen it happen before.
We're talking about the most vulnerable of our population. I mean, if you're struggling to pay rent, you're probably not in that great of a situation to begin with.
That's what I'm saying.
We've spoken about the judicial branch here about making sure that people in magistrate court get proper due process so they're not, like if they are evicted, then they get a chance to appeal it.
But the landlord-tenant laws.
What about them?
That's what I'm saying. There needs to be some type of revision. They need to go through them again and look at them and see what's actually available for them, to protect the citizens as well as the landlord. I don't believe that someone should live in a house and not pay. And
if I want to evict somebody right now, I'm looking at a minimum 25 days process as a landlord.
Right.
Which gives the tenant plenty of time to either look for another place or to sufficiently vandalize my place because they're mad at me for taking them to court.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, never happens.
No, I'm saying,
but I mean, it's kind of like there seems like there's a pause. Like there's a 25-day kind of, I'd call it cooling off. You got like 10 days to go to court, and then you get another 10 days for the writ. And by the time everybody comes around, it's a month.
No, I'm saying, you say 30 days. Yeah. I just say it's a month.
So you mentioned you complain to the landlord, you get put out. Well, then they're doing something illegal to begin with.
Because
you can't put somebody out just because they call.
If you don't have the proper lease, there are things they can just put you out.
Okay, but right there, caveat emptor.
Exactly.
Buyer beware.
I agree with buyer.
How many times have you been on Facebook lately and you see somebody say, "I need a private landlord"? Why are people asking for that?
Many times. Well, that's because, number one, if you're evicted, then you're on this particular
That's
way.
right.
But that does not necessarily mean just because a person is evicted, it doesn't mean they beat up a house. It could have come up on some short times and they couldn't pay the rent. So now I'm back in a better space and I move somewhere or I want to move somewhere. And every time I want to move somewhere, then it's because this happened here, you can't do it. It goes back to everything. You're going to pay for that the rest of your life until you can figure that out. So that's what I'm saying. I think that there should be, I understand if someone's been evicted 4 or 5 times or whatever. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But if someone's evicted one time, why can't we give them a second chance?
Well, so
I mean, what I'm saying is that,
I'm thinking of this example. So somebody wanted to rent a commercial building from me. Okay. The guy was from out of town. I was just suspect. I made him do a credit check, and his credit check came back. He had credit worse than some of my own employees would have. I mean, it was bad. This guy was a business owner. And I talked to his agent, and he says, "Were you going to rent?" I said, "Man, this guy's got worse credit than some of my sandwich makers." He says, "Well, what did he say? Well, what happened in the past isn't going to mean what's going to happen in the future."
Yes, it most certainly is.
And I was like, I was just looking at the phone like, okay, he owes like 80 grand in this case. This guy owed like 80,000 in medical bills. He gets skipped out of everything.
But see,
So-
but that's a different situation.
Well,
What
if he
about
was laying
the
his
mom
head
with?
there,
What about the single mom with children who's working every day? She's
Mhm.
struggling. She's working. She's doing everything she's supposed to do. She gets put out because she couldn't pay the rent there.
Mhm.
But now she's in a better place and she wants to move in somewhere. But now they got this
now
long
she's got an
list.
eviction on her.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. She has a hard time. And when people, and think about it, you're saying, oh, it gives people time. The average person does not find somewhere to move in 30 days. When I was ready to buy my house, I didn't want to live where I was living anymore.
Mhm.
I could not find anywhere to rent, and it had nothing to do with the landlord or nothing. It was the fact that we have
It was just the market.
it's the
I guess.
market, and what they were asking for houses that weren't even worth
Mhm.
the amount. My house next door to my house is asking for $3,000 for rent. What? It's just
They're only going to ask how much the market's going to bear, though.
right.
I
So
mean,
they're
that's
not gonna.
it.
It's not gonna stay at 3,000. I already know that. But what I'm saying to you is that while we have to be forgiving of some things at some point. I'm not saying someone that is a habitual everything. I'm saying that when we're talking about things like this, anybody can come up across bad times.
Mhm.
Things happen, and that's the problem. We're always looking for them to reoffend or do the
Mhm.
same things over. But how do we ever know anybody's going to do anything different if we're never trying to give anybody a chance? We have to learn about, and I understand, I get it in your case, the $80,000 or whatever.
That was a little extreme.
That
one. Yeah.
was an extreme case. But you have to be able to, that's one thing about it. You have to be able to know what you're getting into,
Mhm.
understand it when you're doing these things, because everybody is not the same. No one's the same. Your issue may not be my issue, or what happened. What about the woman who's running from domestic violence and had to leave because her husband beat her to death and she couldn't afford it? Or what? I mean, there's so many scenarios.
But also, you can, as a landlord, you can also see one eviction over many years. You can have a conversation. Tell me what happened.
I agree.
So that's. But as a landlord, also, if I have 5 people applying and 3 of them have evictions and 2 of them don't, I'm going to lean towards the 2 that don't. Nothing personal. 'cause
mean,
it's my house.
it's your house.
It's
and I
my
don't think there's a
property.
problem.
Yes,
I don't see that as a problem.
I think a lot of the friction comes from some of these corporate landlords, the ones that have been out of town buying up a lot of the multifamilies and stuff. Federal government's working on that to try to break that up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
I've
drove
worked
up.
with a lot of I worked with over there on Wilmington Street with a lot of the people over there. Did a lot of work over there with them and getting them up to par, because when it is a government program like that, those people, they're gonna get their money regardless,
Mhm.
and there's not enough accountability with things like that. And so that's what I mean. We're talking about on a HUD level now, what you're talking about, and there's not enough accountability.
Well, I was referencing the government trying to prevent institutional investors from buying lots of single family homes as they did during COVID, which is what
I
drove
gotcha.
up the prices for everybody. And then it bit us with our valuations because the COVID years were included in our new valuation. So, but look, your house is worth more. We should be happy.
Yeah, mine. I mean,
you
I'm
just
not
got to
crying
pay a little
about
more
the,
taxes,
yeah,
but
I had to pay a lot more taxes,
Yeah.
but I'm not mad about the equity I have in my home, so I'm good with that.
So I think a lot of friction comes from that because the smaller landlords, I think the average landlord has like 1.5 unit or 1.25 unit. Like that's the
Okay.
average. And here in Fayetteville, we have a lot of, I want to say service related people that maybe
We do.
bought a house, left, still have the house here rented out. So you're not dealing with large landlords. And I think there still is some latitude for them to consider the evictions or whatever.
And I think, and I think that's something, that just should be a consideration. But like you said, with the corporate landlord type thing, it is a little harder, because if you get that one ding, it's over for you. It's kind of like,
it's a ding, but also they're going to want 3 times
3 times
income, and there's a lot of very stringent restrictions, and it's just not for everybody. Affordable housing used to be those mobile homes over there on Skybow Road before they put Freedom Town Center. Remember that?
I don't know if I
I don't know if you
remember it.
remember that.
Yeah, I
But
may not have been
there
here
was
then.
probably 500 mobile homes there on Skybo and Cliffdale.
Yeah, I don't think I was here then.
Yeah. Well, everybody rails, oh, affordable housing, affordable housing. Well, we developed some of that away.
Well, I
Um,
think it all depends on how you look at affordable housing.
mhm.
That's a lot of it. And right now, to me, in this market we live in now, I think affordable housing is buying a house. And because I know my mortgage is much cheaper than what any rent I could have paid. And one of the things I do, I bring a program here to Cumberland County called the NACA program.
Okay.
I do it once a quarter. And what it is it's a wonderful, wonderful program. And the program is for anybody that's low income
Mhm.
up to mid income. But here, $450,000 of income is pretty darn good in Cumberland County.
Mhm.
But what this program entails, it it pays your down payment and it pays your closing costs. The only thing you have to worry about is paying for someone to go into the house and inspect it. But the reason why this is a great program because they don't allow you to purchase something that you can't afford with your income. And
Right.
they don't really go so much on credit. They just want to know
What
that
is this program?
it's called NACA,
What's that stand? Same for anything? Or just,
Neighborhood Association Corporation of America. Oh, I got it right.
man, that's a mouthful.
That's why they call it NACA.
Okay.
But these are things, and this is something that I have been doing probably since about 2019. And then COVID came, so we had to stop for a while. And we just had one back here in the summer. We'll be having another one coming up. Probably it's in April, I think. And I can send you that information.
Okay.
That's not a problem. But that's one of the things that I've been working with them for a long time. And people are getting homes. And it's a great way to build up neighborhoods here in Cumberland County simply because if people own houses,
Mhm.
they're going to do better by their house. And it makes your neighborhoods also safer
Mhm.
because you're not going to put up with a lot of stuff if you own that house because that's your house.
Right.
So those are things, and so each person that buys a house, to me, I'm excited. And we've had many, many, many that have been able to secure a home with this NACA program.
And that's statewide, or is that local here, or is that national?
Oh, it's a national program. You
thing.
can look it
Okay.
up. It's a national program. I came across it. I think it was 2019 when I actually came across it the first
Mhm.
time. And when I started talking about it, I started finding out that I knew people who actually had gone through the program. And that's when I started advocating for the program. So it is a great program to help with
I
housing.
like the responsibility part. Like, we're not
Yes.
going to let you buy something you can't
Exactly.
otherwise pay, because people can afford if they can afford their rent, but then they're told they can't afford a mortgage,
This is true.
which would be less.
Which would be less.
Yeah.
And so, and it's great because they are making you use a lot of responsibility. You're not going to just walk in there and get it.
Mhm.
And if you do have credit problems, they're helping you with it while you're getting this house.
Mhm.
And they will do everything in their power to make sure you continue living where you live, unless it's just not at all possible.
Right.
But it is a great, great program. I was trying to, and right now, let me just tell people, right now is a great time to get in on that program because you can get with the city, with the Kingdom, what is it, the Kingdom Development Program here. They're giving away, is it $10,000?
I think it's 20 for
$20,000.
regular
Okay.
citizens, 30 if you're a first responder.
You're gonna, what will happen is that when you close and you get that 20,000, you get that 20,000 in the bank.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
you don't have to worry about it. So these are things and just great ideas and things that we can just push and make sure people are getting what they need. And to me, that's anybody. I don't care. I'm not going to ask you what your political affiliation is. I want you to just buy a house. I want you to be able to get what you need so you can do the best for your family.
Okay.
And pretty much that's the kind of person I am. I want to represent people right where they are and for who they are.
Mhm.
And we can always agree to disagree. I disagreed with some of the stuff you said today, but I still have respect for you as a person. And I believe that's something that we've lost in this society,
Mhm.
respecting one another. Just because we may be different or we believe differently, it doesn't mean we can't respect one another
Mhm.
and exist here together because we all live right here in Cumberland County. So we have to learn how to do that.
I met Janene Ackles 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Something like that.
something like that. And I will say that her and I got along really, really well. I have much respect for Miss Janene Ackles. And one thing I will say, she's always very active in the community and with the senior citizens, and my hat is off to her for that. Now, tell us about your website and how
Yes.
somebody can give you money.
I'm putting it up on screen. Is it elect? Is it?
That's a good thing. Thank you.
Electackles.com, right?
It's electackles.com.
Okay. It's going on now.
And you can reach me there. My phone numbers, everything are out there. If you call out to me, I'm gonna call you back. And there was one small caveat I forgot to mention to you guys. I work with many of the nonprofits here in Cumberland County. So when we have city funds and county funds that are available, I work with any of these nonprofits for free.
Mhm.
I don't charge them a dime. This year, we were able to get probably over $200,000 to these smaller nonprofits that were able to do things for our youth, our seniors, keep their doors open.
She helped Minor.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I helped. Yeah, Mr. Minor.
Yeah, because I'm on the board.
Oh, you're on the board? Okay.
Yeah.
So I do have a few receipts to show. I'm not just doing the talking, but I do advocate, and I'm out there. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
Well, Janene Ackles running for State House 43. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Good luck in your primary.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. And with that, with the Carolina Cabinet, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Thanks, y'all.